We are raised on a diet of moral absolutes. We're told that kindness is a bottomless well and that being helpful is the highest form of human virtue. We celebrate the person who drops everything to help a friend, the employee who stays late to fix a colleague's mistake, and the fixer in the family. But there is an unsaid rule that society rarely mentions. Kindness without boundaries is not charity, it's self-sabotage. When you become the person who is always there, you start paying a silent tax. It's a tax on your time, your mental health, and, strangely enough, on the very relationships you're trying to save. Today, we're looking at the psychological architecture of the helper's trap and the high cost of being too helpful. In psychology, there is a term for the pathological need to please, sociotropy. It describes a personality trait where an individual's self-worth is entirely dependent on their social harmony. To a sociotropic person, a no feels like a death sentence to a relationship. But why do we do it? 1. The worthiness myth. We believe we are only as valuable as the problems we solve. 2. The control illusion. Helping is often a subconscious way to feel in control. If I can fix your life, I don't have to face the chaos in mine. As the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journals, Meditations. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. But Aurelius also understood the internal citadel. He believed that if you compromise your own soul to satisfy the whims of others, you have failed the first duty of a human being, to maintain your own character. The most hidden cost of being too helpful is enabling. Consider the case of the hovering colleague. Imagine you have a teammate, Mark. Mark is disorganized. Because you're helpful, you rewrite his emails and fix his spreadsheets before the manager sees them. You feel like a hero. But look at the unsaid consequences. First, you are robbing Mark of productive friction. Without the consequence of failure, Mark has no biological or professional reason to grow. Second, you are creating a false reality for your manager, who now thinks Mark is competent, potentially leading to Mark being promoted into a role he will eventually fail in, catastrophically. Psychologist Stephen Karpman called this the drama triangle. When you step in to rescue, you inadvertently turn the other person into a victim. You think you're being a savior, but you're actually creating a cycle of dependency. The giants of history saw this trap coming. Confucius, the great Chinese sage, taught the doctrine of the mean. He argued that virtue is a balance. To be too helpful was just as much a vice as being too selfish. He called it being obsequious, losing one's dignity just to stay in someone's good graces. Then there is Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. He offered the ultimate unsaid rule for helpers. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." Lao Tzu's wisdom suggests that the highest form of help is invisible. If the person you are helping feels indebted to you, you haven't helped them. You've burdened them with gratitude. True help empowers the other person to believe they achieved the result on their own. How do we stop? How do we move from being too helpful to effectively kind? The 24-hour rule. When asked for a favor that isn't an emergency, your default answer must be, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." This kills the people-pleasing reflex and gives your logical brain time to assess the cost. The Benjamin Franklin effect. Counterintuitively, try asking them for a small favor. Franklin found that when people do something for you, they actually value you more. It balances the power dynamic. Offer resources, not labor. Instead of doing the task, say, "I can't do this for you, but I can send you the tutorial I used to learn it." The unsaid rule of a meaningful life is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. If your kindness is fueled by a fear of rejection, it isn't kindness. It's a transaction. Be helpful, yes, but be helpful from a place of abundance, not a place of debt. If this resonated with you, you might be carrying a resentment debt you didn't even know you had. Tell us in the comments, have you ever regretted being too helpful? I'm the voice behind Unsaid Rules. Subscribe to join us as we deconstruct the hidden psychology of our daily lives. We'll see you in the next chapter.